What's up, Garage Gym Revolution? It's Coach Evan back with another live training today. You know the deal. If you're here with me live, let me know in the comments. Type your name, hashtag live next to your comment so that I can shout you out. If you're watching the replay, hashtag replay so that I can follow up with you and answer any questions you might have. So today, if you are not aware, is all about understanding the Garage Gym Revolution's 36x return on investment ad spending strategy, all for personal trainers. Now, if you're not spending money on ads, that's okay. Most of our clients aren't, but a lot of clients have to, whether it's because they're in new territories, they're trying something that they don't have the time to do organic outreach for, excuse me, and spending money on ads is a really, really, really great idea if you're already busy and you're looking to scale. Now, this is going to be a really awesome training for you if you are in that position. If you are not in that position, the best bet for you is going to be to understand what the value of your hour is and either outsource that organic stuff to somebody to do messaging or outreach or whatever it might be for your business, right? Or stay tuned and understand the importance of spending money on ads. Because if I told you that you could hand me $1 and I would give you back 36 within 9 months, that would be a really, really good investment. For a general rule of thumb, you need to know that Warren Buffett looks to see somewhere like a 2.5% return on his investment, and that is awesome. Usually it's going to be around 0.5. Right? Now he's talking in billions of dollars, so that's a lot of money. But seriously, from $1, if you were to hand me $1 and I told you in 9 months, and it's guaranteed, you're going to make back $36, what would you say? Heck yes, that's the best investment possible. What if I even said, hey, in 12 weeks, you're going to make back, I don't know, $6? Would that be worth it? The answer should be yes, right? $12, most likely. If it's 1 to 1, that's okay. If it's 1 to 2, that's incredible. But if you're getting 4x return or above, then this should be a no-brainer. And this training is going to show you how we formulated an ad campaign and then what we looked for to understand our return on investment. And 36 is going to be the minimum that our client Nick is going to see from this ad campaign. So I'm going to walk you through it step by step. This is going to be an incredible training for you if you're considering or thinking about or just want to know, like, why would I spend money on ads when I could do this for free? The answer is you could do this stuff for free. And also, most of our clients aren't spending money on ads, but they have the time and not the budget. So if you got the time, you got to spend time. If you got the money, you got to spend money. But first and foremost, before we get into any of those details, that's a separate training altogether. Just remember, if you're here again, hashtag live in the comments next to your name, hashtag replay if you're watching the replay. If you have any questions, just drop them in here, and I'm going to give you an opportunity to schedule a one-on-one with me where I can walk you through this step by step and teach you how to increase your prices to what Nick is going to be charging. So without further ado, I want to show you his ad campaign from the inside. No secret sauce in this program. You're getting a deep dive into what we're doing for Nick to see a 36x return on his investment. So this is Facebook's Ad Center, and Facebook allows you to run ads on Facebook and on Instagram. Facebook also has a bunch of links tied in, a bunch of apps tied into their programming. So you might have even seen some of my ads in some of the apps that you have on your phone, which is kind of cool. So it's not just Facebook, it's Facebook and Instagram. And I want to show you what this looks like. So we have a $1,000 lifetime budget, and this ad campaign is running for an entire month. All right, it ends actually this week. We have currently spent $704. Our average cost per lead is $4.19, and we've generated 168 leads. By the time this ad campaign is done, we'll most likely be contracting somewhere around 225 leads, which is really, really good, right? Would you spend $1,000 to get 225 leads delivered straight to your door? Yeah, I think you would. So I know that I would. So I want to show you what the ad looks like because it's really, really simple. And I want to break down for you. This is something that I've done in our Inner Circle program, but I feel like it will be incredibly valuable for you to see, right? We have a very simple video. I'm going to go ahead and actually play the video for you, right? Professionally edited, right? Music is licensed free so that we're not worried about copyright issues. Just so you know, if you ever put like, I don't own this music on Facebook, it doesn't matter, you still can't use it, right? You actually have to get licensed free music. But you can see the video is just basic. It's people doing fitness stuff, right? What's important? A free personal training voucher is how we're advertising that. So that's the headline. And then the offer, right? All the primary text. We're giving people free personal training. We're saying what's up to the community. And then we're telling them everything that's included with it as well as his location at the bottom. Because we want people to make sure that they are close enough. We don't want people clicking from 25 miles away, right? So we make sure that with our ad campaign, we are also targeting people that are local. I'm going to show you how we target in a second. We are using Facebook lead forms. So if you're familiar with ads at all, you might have seen that there's a whole thing with Facebook versus Apple. We are taking care of that by just using Facebook lead forms, and we're getting a really good return from that. Very simple questions. What time are you interested in training? What's your top priority with working with a trainer? That's it. We just want to know when can you come in and what are your goals. You can't actually say goals on Facebook. You actually have to say like what's your priority, and people will then, I want to lose weight, I want to gain strength, those kind of things. I want to get out of pain. They'll figure it out. You can't get too specific with your questions because it will violate some rules. So that is the form. Very basic. We collect their email, we collect their phone number, we collect their name. That's pretty much it. Then we give them an opportunity to schedule. Now when it comes to how we target, you can see that in this particular city, he's in New Orleans. Right? We target based on sex, female and male, and we target based on age. So we have 44 and over, 33 and 43, 22 to 32. We do that for female and male. And the reason for that is our potential reach, which is over here in the right-hand corner. We want to make sure it's somewhere in the middle. We don't want it to be too broad. We don't want it to be too specific, right? Very simple. Like you can see how easy this is. Making ads is actually one of the easiest things that you can do. It's just about understanding the right way to scale and grow your ads, right? Knowing when to take this down, when to take it up. Now, let's go back real quick. Sorry, I'm going to go back and share the screen. Exit out of this, right? So a lot of people, when they are up and running, right, they think that investing is like gambling, and it really isn't. And this is the mistake I see fit pros make all the time, is they've got a good thing going and they're like, okay, I've got 168 leads. We haven't yet spent $1,000. Can we cut it off? And the answer is no. Right now, if I was getting $5 leads for the Garage Gym Revolution, I would be spending $50,000 a month easily. Right? Because that's 10,000 leads I would be getting every single month for my business. I probably couldn't handle that volume, but it's going to be a question as to, can you handle in 1 month reaching out to 225 people? How many phone calls does that take per day? 30 days in the month? Well, if you called less than 10 people a day, you'd be able to get those people scheduled, right? And so it's really cool to understand where your capacity lies relative to your ad spend. Right? Because if you have the capacity to call at least 10 people per day and you're getting less than $5 leads, we should be scaling this ad for months. And we would stop scaling once our cost per lead starts to go up, period. As easy as that. This is an incredible winner of an ad campaign. Let's just say that. Now, I'm going to go away for a second. I want to talk a little bit more about how we know when to scale and how to identify our return on our investment. And I've actually created a slideshow for this. I haven't done this before, so you're gonna have to bear with me if the slideshow is a little wonky, but this is a really, really valuable lesson for all of you. And if you're not investing money in ads, that's okay. Again, like we've got 30 plus clients in the Garage Gym Revolution. We only have like 3 or 4 right now investing money in ads, right? Nick needed to invest money in ads, and you can see that it is worth it. And I'm going to show you exactly how worth it it's going to be. But if you're not, the skills and mindset that you're going to learn from this slideshow will translate into your business, even if you're not spending money on ads. I guarantee it. So stay tuned. This is going to take another 10 minutes, but it is going to be the best 10 minutes of your entire week, I promise. So here is your slideshow. The Garage Gym Revolution's 36x return on investment strategy. Return on investment is ROI. So if you see ROI on here, just know return on investment is what ROI means, okay? So this quote, the business that can spend the most to acquire a customer wins. Dan Kennedy is a very famous author, very famous marketer, and just a genius when it comes to understanding like how to acquire clients. He has all kinds of programs and books. I would suggest looking it up, but the business that can spend the most to acquire a customer wins. In other words, it costs money to make money, you idiot, right? Literally anybody who knows anything about business understands that it costs money to make money. And I will even go as far to say, like, it costs time to make money. And money is time, time is money, right? So again, if you don't have the upfront cash, right, you're going to be investing your time, and your time is worth something. So either way, it costs money to make money, and it's going to be up to you to recognize what the value of your hour is worth, what you need to outsource in order to justify spending more money and getting back some of your time. So even if you're not investing the time, or I'm sorry, even if you're not investing the money, right, think about how much time you would spend to acquire a new client. So if I tell you it's going to cost you, I don't know, $500 to acquire a client, how many hours of work is that for you? Think about it that way, okay? So I want to show you, going on, reviewing Nick's ad budget, right? So this is just a photo, right? It's pretty similar to what we just saw. Would you spend $1,000 on ads to acquire 225 or more new leads for your business? The answer should be hell yes, but most likely it all depends, right? And it all depends based upon these factors. Cost per lead. How much does it cost to get one lead's contact information, right? So you can see here, it costs us $4.17 on average to get one lead's contact information. Right? So we're getting their name, their email, their phone number. We're also getting the time that they want to train. We're getting a little bit of more information. So those things cost $4.17. All right? What you do with it comes next. Most likely what we're going to end up trying to do is get that person scheduled for a tour or an assessment or a consultation or whatever you want to call it, right? So this is an additional cost per schedule. How much does it cost to get one lead on your calendar? And I'll show you in the next couple of slides why these start to increase, all right? So cost per lead is $4.17, right? Cost per schedule, if you were to get all of those, let's say you got 10 leads, right? And you had all 10 of them scheduled, cost per schedule will still be $4.17, but it doesn't always work out that way, right? It starts to get a little bit higher once we move down the ladder. And I'll show you that and revisit this conversation in just a second, right? After scheduling, making sure those people show up. What does it cost to get a one lead to actually show up for their appointment that they scheduled, right? And then from there, how much does it cost us to get one lead to buy? All right, so these are 4 things that we need to keep in mind. Cost per lead, cost per schedule, cost per show, and then cost per acquisition. And here's what it looks like. So I'm gonna go back to Nick's ad, all right? Let's say we have a $1,000 budget, okay? In general, what you can look at are the leads over here in this left-hand corner. If we spend $1,000, I even increase the lead cost to $4.50. So it's going to cost us $4.50 per lead. So at $1,000, we'll get around 225 leads, right? Now, here is where the cost starts to increase, right? And this goes into a certain factors. How you targeted your leads. Right? If you were to advertise in for your personal training business in places like Thailand, you would get 10-cent leads, but none of them would schedule for an appointment because you're not in Thailand, right? So those leads would be pretty much worthless, right? So if you spend $1,000 and you got 10,000 leads, but none of them scheduled, right? That would be $1,000 for a zero schedule. Right? So what we like to assume is that the law of threes applies to all of this. Now, the law of threes essentially states that for every 100 people that I get their information of, I'm going to be able to schedule 30% of them. And then of those schedules, I'm going to be able to get 30% of those people to show. And of those shows, I should be able to close around 30% of those people into clients. Right? Very simple law. And the better your ads are, the better your leads are going to be. So this number, 30%, right, should be significantly higher. I would love a 70% schedule rate or even more, right? So for every 10, instead of getting 3 people to schedule, we get 7, even better. From your schedule to your show, that's going to be how good your lead nurture process is. How giving are you? How exciting are you making that process? How quickly are you getting people to schedule? All these things will improve this law of 3 rate. And if your close rate is really good, then this should also go up. But what you need to know about the law of threes is that this is if you suck, period. If you're doing this for the first time, law of threes is going to apply. The first time I ran ads, right, I spent $1,000, law of threes applied to me because I didn't get that many people scheduled because I had no idea what I was doing. The people that scheduled, I didn't get that many people to show up because I had no idea how to nurture those leads. And then those people who showed up, I only closed about 30% of them because I didn't know how to sell, right? And so I ended up spending $1,000 and closing 3 clients, right, on a ton of leads because my processes were screwed up, but I was still able to make $6,000 from spending $1,000. If the other processes were figured out better, I would have made 36x return on my investment, but instead I made about 6. So let's go through this process again. 225 leads. at a crappy 30% schedule rate, we're going to get 67 people to actually schedule. This means we're going to be able to get them on the phone and say, yes, I'll come in for an appointment. So you can see how now with only 67.5 people, our cost now goes up, right? So these 67.5 people now cost us $14.81. If our nurture process sucks, we'll still be able to get 30% of them in the door to show up for an appointment. Now we've got 20.25 people showing up for an appointment. Our cost goes up again. It's $49.38 for each show, for each people that actually shows up for a tour. And if you suck at your tour, if you suck at your assessment, if you're just the worst person ever, people are still going to want to buy because they've made it through this process all the way. And that's going to be about 30%. So we're going to end up taking 6.075 clients out of those 20 shows, out of those 68 schedules, out of those 225. And I know those numbers look scary. I'm only going to get 6 clients from 225 leads. The answer is maybe. The answer is maybe. Depends on how good you are at the other things, right? But even there, right? If we spent $1,000 and we're able to get 6 clients, that means our total cost per client acquisition is $164.61. So cost per acquisition, how much does it cost to get one lead to buy, right? So that's a number that we need to keep in mind, right? So we've got all of that understood. How much do you need to charge in order to justify spending $164.61 per client? Again, the answer is going to consider, right? Warren Buffett, right? If he gets a 0.5 to 2.5% return on his investment, he is stoked. Most supermarkets make I think it's 5 cents for every dollar. So like the fact that you can get with ad spend up to 36x return on your investment is incredible. I'm going to show you what it means to do that. And that is understanding your lifetime value of your customer. Now I get people on the phone for consultations all the time that tell me that their lead gen sucks, but they have clients for life. And that's awesome. In general, most people, when it comes to personal training, are going to have a higher lifetime value. They're going to stay with you a little bit longer than they would at some basic gym membership or with ClassPass or something like that. But I don't want to assume it's going to be too crazy. For me, personally, lifetime value is going to be around 9 months. And so how much does each client spend with you during their time as your client? We need to take that into consideration. So again, it cost us, what, $164? Let's go back. $164.61 per client. Now, if we have a lifetime value and we're selling 12-week packages, what we do for our business, first package is $2,000. Second package, another 12 weeks for a total of 24 weeks, another $2,000, that's $4,000. Third package, up to 36 weeks, that's $6,000 total, right? Our lifetime value of that customer is $6,000 for a client who's with us for 9 months. So is it worth spending $164.61 to acquire one client if your potential return was $6,000? Again, in the beginning of this whole thing, I said if I handed you $1, and if you handed me $1, excuse me, and I told you that in 9 months I was going to give you back $36, that would be a risk you were willing to take because it's only $1. What if I told you I needed $164, $165 to give you $6,000 in 9 months? This isn't gambling. This isn't guessing. This is just the numbers. What would your reaction be? Hell freaking yeah! Let's go! That is an incredible investment. That's a 36x return on your investment. Your ROI is 36 times. Can you tell me one other thing that would get you a 36x return on your investment? And if you say real estate, you have no idea what you're talking about. This is it. This is why personal training can be so fruitful. This is why when people are on my ads wondering, oh, there's no way you can make that much money, 30K months, 40K months, no way. Yeah, you just don't know how to do it. And if you did do it, even if you didn't know how to do it, you'd be like me 2 years ago with no skills on how to do it, but just trying it and doing it and still seeing a 6x return on your investment. Like, this is not magic. This is so simple. It's just understanding like the processes and the structure of the ads and how to offer something really, really sexy to your clients that makes them want to buy every single time and also charge you what you're worth. One of the tenets of this program. So here's the question. What if I'm not charging $2,000? You got to schedule a free strategy session right now. That's what you need to do. Now, you could still, obviously, by doing these numbers, understand how to make less than 36x return on your investment, right? If you're charging $1,000, that would still be a what, 13, 18x return on your investment. Still really, really good, right? It's about collecting as much upfront cash as possible to justify that cost. But if you are not charging $2,000 for your training services just yet, you need to schedule a free strategy session with me so we can teach you how to sell golden ticket and high ticket services in semi-private training environments, or online, or one-on-one, or in boot camp format. Whatever you're doing, we want to help you out. And all you got to do is comment 2K below this video to get scheduled. I'll reach out to you personally. That is it for me today. If you are here watching this, let me open the floor up to any questions that you might have about ad spend, about the ad creation process, about whatever it is that you might think that you need. Let me know in the comments. I'm going to give you guys about 30 seconds. And if I don't see anything in the next 30 seconds, I'm just going to call it a night. Need to get a little Jeopardy music. All right, no comments, guys. But if I see it, I'll be checking this in the next couple of days as well. Remember, 2K in the comments below. I'll reach out to you. We'll get scheduled you for a free strategy session. Coach Evan here, signing off. Thank you so much for being here with me. Happy to be of service and help you out in any way, shape, or form I can. I will see you tomorrow for another 2-minute Tuesday. One question. Here we go, right as I'm signing off. Other than ads, what's the biggest thing for a startup? That's a complicated question because I don't know what you mean by startup. And I will send you a message personally once we sign off, because it's time to do that, so I can get some clarity on that. And once we have that clarity, I'll drop the answer in the comments below so that anybody watching this video will also be able to get a better understanding as to how I would respond to that question. All right, guys, thank you very much. I'll be back tomorrow for another 2-minute Tuesday. 2K in the comments below if you want to schedule that free strategy session. I'll see you later. Peace.